Hello and welcome to Get Great at Maths. Today's lesson we're going to be looking at the GCSE Mathematics OCR J560 exam paper, the June 2022 series on the higher tier, paper 4, and we're going to be looking at question 10 from the calculator paper. Now question 10 is a critiquing question linking to the data. And there's quite a bit to read to start with, and you've got to make 3 different criticisms of the method that the student has used. Now down here in the bottom right hand corner you can see the question is out of 3 marks, so you get 1 mark for each statement that you write correctly. So you've got 3 statements you can put in here, number 1, number 2 and number 3. So you've got to give 3 different points and make sure that they are 3 different points as it says in the question, and it does highlight the word 3 for you to do 3 different points. So we've got this question here. They're looking at adults and children, and we're collecting data in the student interview for the first 25 people found in the high street at 11 AM on one Monday morning. Now I'm going to show you the mark scheme straight away on this because there are lots of different reasons you can give, and as long as your reasons are valid then you will get marked correctly. So the 3 reasons that we've got from the mark scheme, or the ones they're using, are looking at any correct criticism. Now the first thing is that it is a small sample. Now what that means by a small sample is that 25 people were asked. Now 25 people is classed as a small sample. Anything under 30 is classed as a small sample. So to get better results we should be using a sample greater than 30. So that was your first method mark. The second mark, the sample may not be random, as in the population you're not sure who the people are. So there may be people at work who might be good people to ask, or for example the children could be at school because it is 11 o'clock on a Monday morning and the children should be at school. So that is another valid reason for number 2. Just make sure you don't overlap those 2 points there about the adults being at work and children being at school. They've got to be combined to be 1 point rather than 2 separate points. And the last point is that there's no control over the number of adults and children that you're asking. So when you're looking at the exercise adults and children do, you want to know how many adults there are and how many children are doing it, so you can compare the adults to the children rather than you might be asking all adults, you might be asking all children. So you need to make sure it's fair. Now over on the right side it says over here, do not allow a repeated point. Okay, so you've written something that is very similar, then you're not allowed to have a repeated point. And B1 for each means that is a 1 method mark for each valid point that you give. Part B is looking at a data collection table. We've got to make 1 criticism of the student's table. Now this question was quite tricky. You've got to look at the data very carefully, and I'm just going to highlight this number here, the number 2 at the end of the first section and the number 2 on the end of this section here. Now the whole point of circling this is because if you look at the mark scheme we have got an overlapping group. The reason it's overlapping is because 2 will be in this group here and 2 will be in this group here, and if you're marking off your tally, where do you tally number 2? Do you tally it in the top one up here for an adult, or do you tally it down below for the second one between 2 and 4? We don't know which one you tally it in, which is what the criticism is linking to this table. This was worth 1 mark. Okay, so you can see on the mark scheme the 1 mark, or in the bottom right hand corner it tells you how many marks the question is out of as well. Thanks for listening. This was another video done by Get Great at Maths. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Thank you.